in today's video I'm going to make a cake. You could call it how to make a cake, or you could call it how to make a complete disaster. I don't know yet. I have made this cake before. I've got some various ingredients around. I've got some self-raising flour. I was hoping to use up all the flour that I used when I bought the flour for like the bread video, the soda bread video, and various challenges. But that was just plain flour, and I needed self-raising flour. So yeah, I have got so much flour. There's going to be a lot of bread and cake videos coming up soon. Yeah, so I've got some basic ingredients. I'm kind of roughly working off this recipe. It's quite an old one. It's from the 1974 edition of the Good Housekeeping. I think it's the 1974 one. It's an old one anyway. This book's a bit tatty, but I'm kind of going through the basic sponge, but then I'm adding some bits in it. I'm putting some orange into it. I wanted to find some orange curd if there's such a thing, but I couldn't find any anywhere. I went to 2 different shops, so I ended up getting lemon curd. As you can see, this flour is Co-op, and this is Sainsbury's. So I went to 2 shops, and maybe orange curd doesn't exist. I thought it did. I thought it was a thing, but apparently it isn't. Isn't where I shop. So hopefully lemon will be alright. I mean, it's supposed to be an orange cake, but orange lemon, they're both citrus, it'll be fine. So I'm going to start off by, by looking at the recipe on how to make a sponge. I have made this sponge before. I need some pans, so I'm going to need to put the cake mixture into something, and I think in this cupboard, conveniently by my feet, there is some pans. Alright, 2 cake dishes, pans, and these ones are quite good. They've got removable bases, so that's quite good. You can get them without, but this just makes life so much easier if you have removable bases. I believe I'm going to need to grease these up. Let's just see what it says. Grease 2 pans. It does say that, so let's do that. I don't actually know if this is actually any good for baking. It's Panasonic. It's what I had, so it will do. I'm sure it'll be fine. I only need a little bit here to grease this up. Put that in. Some people like to get some greaseproof paper or something and whoosh it around. Well, it's quite good. What my mum used to do quite a long time, all the tops of here, she used to collect those and then use them for greasing up cake dishes. I'm just going to use my fingers. I like getting my fingers dirty. Always wash your hands first. I have washed my hands, but just before I turned the camera on, some of my fingers are clean. Apart from any bacteria that was already on the record button on the camera, but it'll be fine. There we go, to grease that pan, and I am going to wash my hands again because they're quite greasy now. Alright, now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go off the recipe a bit because I'm going to want because I'm putting oranges in this cake. I want the orange zest and I want the orange juice as well. I think I tried something like this before and I put way too much juice in. It was a nice cake, but I could have done with a little bit less juice. Particularly the icing sugar at the end. I put way too much orange juice in, so I'm going to put a little bit less in this time. I learned from that one. Again, I was kind of making up as I went along then. Kind of making up as I go along. I don't have this recipe here. It's more of a guide. I'm not going strictly to it. But a zester. Somewhere we have a zester. Alright, when you have literally no idea what happened to the zester, it's a little handheld thing. It's quite good for zesting it. You can use a grater. Most people will have a grater similar to this. This one's quite good. It's got various different things on it. So I'm going to use that. This isn't the original tool I was looking for, but it will do. So I'm going to get me an orange zest. Which one should I use? Let's try this one. This bowl's quite good because it's sort of square shaped. So the grater actually fits right inside it. It's quite good. I say it's quite good. It's not very good if you're like eating like ice cream or something that you want to lick out afterwards. It's a nightmare then because you can't get your face in there to lick it all out. This is actually working quite well. It's taking forever. It does take a while to get these all zested out, but hopefully it'll be worth it. I'm hoping. I'm colourblind. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on previous videos. But lately I've noticed the shops are selling like giant red grapefruits, which to me look exactly like great big oranges. And I have bought one thinking it was an orange in the past, and I hate grapefruits. I cannot stand grapefruits. And I nearly did that again today. I saw them in the shop. I was thinking, oh, that looks like a nice big orange. And then I thought, oh, double check, because I don't want to make that mistake again. And they were actually giant red grapefruits. Alright, there we go. How's that showing on the camera? Can you see that? I can't really tell. I've got the camera quite far away from me, and I think, if I squint, yeah, you can see that. Alright, so I've got a glass bowl so you can see it on the camera, and I need to combine the sugar, which is actually leaking, marvellous, and the butter or fat, whatever it is. And I'm just looking at this great big bag of flour, 1.5 kilograms. I don't need a bag that big. Why can't they make flour bags this size? You know, that would be so much better. I don't need all that. Anyway, so how much do I want? Butter, 4 ounces. It's quite an old recipe book, so it's working in ounces, which is marvellous. So, 4 ounces. 1, 3, 3 1/4, 3 7/8. This works in eighths. Sugar. 4 ounces of caster sugar. So stick that back on there. Zero that. Yeah, it's going everywhere. Brand new packet and it's going everywhere. You kind of expect it. This is how you get ants. Right, 4 ounces. I'm trying to cut down on sugar. I eat way too much sugar. I'm completely and utterly addicted to it. I tried to cut it down and I'm failing. You may have noticed, I don't know if you have, if you've been watching my videos for a long time, if you look at my videos from 2 years ago, my belly's in here, and if you look at it now, I'm kind of out here somewhere, that's all sugar. And the fact that I haven't been training much lately. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get rid of it. I'm hoping to gradually get it down again. Alright, so I need to clean them together. I quite enjoy doing this. It's very messy. If you can't get your fingers messy, there's no point doing it. That is now all one consistency. And my fingers are a complete nightmare right now. I know I said I like getting messy, but this is a bit much. Hands washed again. So what do I want to do now? I'm going to add this into it now. I probably should have done that before I washed my hands. Anyway, I'm going to add this zest in now. I don't think it really matters when I add it in because it's not really part of the recipe. Again, this bit I'm just making up. It's not a critical part of it. I'm just hoping to give it some orange flavour. I might even put some more in later. I've got one more orange left that I haven't zested yet, so I could use that. I'm just going to stir that in. I don't think it really matters when I add it in. If I put it in early, then all the flavours can diffuse into it quickly. Okay, so next it says, add the egg a little at a time, beating well after each addition. Now I do have access to a Kenwood chef whisk, but I'm going to do it the old-fashioned hand whisk. So, eggs, where did I put the eggs? They're over here. Now, way to test if your eggs are good. Now, like most modern eggs will have a date on them, but I ignore the date. Way to test if they're good. Put them in water. If they float, they're bad. If they sink, they're good. Anyway, so it says a little bit at a time. So what I'm going to do is pop it all in one go, because that's how I roll. And then whisk that up. There is a technique to doing it by hand. If you hold the bowl like so, then you can get a good rhythm. It's almost as fast as an electric one. And then it says 2 eggs, I think. It says 2 eggs. That's a strong membrane. That does not want to break. I'm not just dropping the eggshells onto the floor. There is a little bin down by my feet that you can't see. I know that looks like I'm just dropping eggshells on the floor. Don't drop eggshells on the floor. That's silly. Right, so I've got to fold in half the flour, and then I've got to fold in the rest. So how much flour do I want? I want 4 ounces of self-raising flour. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this back on the scale, set that to 0. So I'm just going to put in a little bit at a time. So I'm going to put in, it says half and half. What I'm going to do, if I can open this bag up. So, that's 1 ounce. I'm going to beat that in, and then I'm going to do it 1 ounce, 1 ounce, 1 ounce, and that will get to the 4 ounces. Fold, whisk. Set that back to 0. 1 more ounce. I know what you're thinking. He hasn't sieved the flour. The world is going to end. Don't worry, it will be fine. Don't need to sieve it. Sieving's just to get rid of bugs. When the wheat used to be milled in like old-fashioned windmills, and bugs would get in, so you'd need to sieve it to get rid of the bugs. Modern farming and grinding methods and milling and stuff don't allow bugs to get in. You'll be fine. Alright, set that to 0. Stir that in. It's kind of folding it this in because I'm whisking it quite slowly, and it does have a sort of folding motion-ish. Right, and then 1 more ounce, set that back to 0. There you go. I've gone over by a quarter of it, that's fine. Can't take it out now. Right, don't need that anymore. Right, I'm going to get a big spoon and fold in the rest because there's a lot of flour around the edge. So I'm going to fold that in. And you know what? I'm going to add the zest from the last orange actually. I've decided I will add it. So it's got zest of 4 oranges. Look at this mess I'm making. I'm making a right mess. Anyway, I'm going to fold in the last bit of zest. Mix that all in. And what I'm going to do now, this is the point where I'll probably completely ruin it. I want to put some orange juice in here. Probably not a good idea. I don't want to do too much because I said I did it once before and I put too much in and it kind of ruined it a little bit. But I want to put just a little bit of orange juice in, just for a little bit of orangey flavour. Alright, so I've got this lovely juicer thing. I cut the orange in half. And squeeze it on the juicer, like so. So I don't want a lot of juice because otherwise it will ruin the sponge. But I just want a little bit, just so it has a little bit of orange flavour. And I'm going to chuck that in. Hopefully that will be alright. I don't think that will ruin it too much. I think that will be alright because there's only a little bit of juice there. By the time I fold that in, you can't even see it. All that's done is basically just thinned out the mixture a little bit. That'll be fine. What does that taste like? That's fine. To be honest, you can barely even taste the orange. Alright, so next I imagine I want to put them into the dishes. Place half the mixture in each tin and level it with a knife. Do you know what? I should probably turn the oven on to warm it up. Guess Mark 5. So, get rid of all this. Always tidy as you go when you're cooking. Unless you're me. In which case, tidy up after you've made a mess. Although I am going to tidy as I go. Purely because otherwise it's a nightmare to film. Otherwise I would just make a mess and then tidy at the end. But then I film and I find I have to tidy as I go so you can actually see what the hell I'm doing. So basically put half in here and half in here. So I want to have these this way round, but that doesn't look as good on camera. So I put them that way round, and then you can see them. You've got to think about these things when you film. Everything's the other way round. It's a pain. Anyway, let's put some in there, some in there. I'm hoping this does rise up because there isn't much in here. I think these might be quite thin. Maybe I should have put more in. I think next time I might do 5 ounces of everything rather than 4 ounces of everything. I hope this raises up quite a lot because it's barely covering the base of the dishes. It said 7-inch pans. These are, I'd say these are slightly over 7 inches, but even so, I'm really hoping this does raise up, as it says. Right, and then there are 2 uncooked cake doughs. The reason I've got the lemon curd is that what that's going to do, once this is cooked, I'm going to put the lemon curd between the 2 layers, stick them together, and I might put some more on top. I might put some icing, I haven't quite decided yet. It's going to take a couple of minutes to warm up, so I'm going to continue cleaning all this up, and then I'll whack them in the oven once it's warmed up. The oven has been warming up for a while, it should be warm enough now, so what I'm going to do is put these both in there and hope for the best. So it's 3 minutes past 9, so 23 minutes past 9, they should be done. Stick them in, close the door, and hopefully they'll turn out alright. Right, it's had long enough. I gave it a couple of extra minutes because of the extra orange juice I put in there, made it a bit more wet. So I thought I'd give it 2 more minutes just to make sure that it was done. So let's see how it's doing. Oh, that's very hot. Oh, steamed up the lens there. Okay, I think they're done. Check it with a skewer. Oh yeah, that's done. Right, let's turn that off. They're done. Alright. It's a little bit tricky doing this while holding the camera, but hopefully I don't drop them. Marvellous. Right, so I've got myself a cooling rack here, and what I need to do is I need to tip these from here onto there. Yeah, I'm going to do it right away. So, got my oven gloves. Now, this is why having a base that comes up is really handy. So you can just do that. Then hopefully this will come off. It's not coming off. Right, hang on. Let's just do this one. That one looks much better. This base doesn't want to come off. It's too hot to touch as well. Get a nice big knife. There we go. Let them cool down for a little while. I'm going to stick these cake dishes in the sink. I've literally just done the washing up and I've got more to do now. So these won't take a minute to wash up. Okay, they are a little bit thinner than I was hoping, particularly this one just here is quite a bit thinner than I was hoping. I think for the size of the cake dish that I had, I probably should have put a little bit extra in. I said that earlier, maybe I should have put a little bit extra of like the flour and everything, like 5 ounces of everything instead of 4, just because that's the size tin I had. It wanted 7 inches, and that's more than 7 inches. But apart from that, you know, that is a nice dough. It's coming up. It's, you know, it looks good. It's not overcooked. It's just a bit thin in places. Hasn't raised nearly as much as I thought it would. I used the self-raising flour. This is where people are going to say, "Oh, if you should have sieved it, it would have made it come up more." It wouldn't. Okay, it just wouldn't. But anyway, I'm gonna let that cool down. So they're still quite hot. Then what I'm going to do, get the lemon curd, because I couldn't find any orange curd. I did think about using orange marmalade, but I don't think that would have been Right. Anyway, so I'm going to basically whack a big dollop of lemon curd on there, stick that on top. I haven't yet decided if I'm going to make orange icing sugar or use more lemon curd. I might make orange icing sugar. It depends if we actually have any icing sugar in the house. I can't see any icing sugar, but I can make icing sugar. Icing sugar is just really fine sugar. I can grind it up. I've got a little coffee grinder. I don't actually like coffee. I actually bought it to grind up peanuts for the birds, because you shouldn't give whole peanuts to baby birds because they can choke. But I can actually make icing sugar out of it. Or I might just stick this on top. Let's see. It's actually a little coffee grinder, but it works brilliantly for grinding up anything really. So I'm going to put some sugar in there, grind up really, really fine, and make some icing sugar out of it. Of course, what I probably should have done, instead of eating the other half of the orange, is kept it for the juice. But never mind. Right, so I just want a little bit, because I don't want to go crazy. Don't want too much. There you go, maybe a little bit more. There you go, that should be plenty, because I only want to do the top of the cake. I'm just covering. Right, it's quite noisy. Look at that, it's so fine, it looks like it's smoking. Alright, I'm going to use this one. It's clear so you can see it on camera, although it's got a pattern on it so you probably can't see it through the camera. Let's just clear this out of the way. I'll pour that into there. I once worked with someone, this is a true story, I don't think she watches this channel so I'm going to say it, and she had fixed a blender at work, and to make sure it works she stuck her hand in it and then blended her hand. It wasn't too bad. This was before I met her, but she told me the story like 3 times. It's like, you daft woman. Anyway, that's going to be my icing sugar. There you go. I'll do this close up on the other camera. Okay, so here's my icing sugar. It's just a little bit at the bottom of this jug. That is really fine. It's probably finer than most icing sugars. What I'm going to do is add tiny bit of orange juice to it. This is where I went wrong last time when I made this cake. I put too much orange juice in it, and to compensate I had to put more sugar in, and then so just literally a few drops. That's all I'm going to do. This is actually cooling down nicely. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to whack some lemon curd on here. Okay. Marvellous! I'm going to get this old tin. I'm going to put it on the lid. The reason I put it on the lid is because then the lid then becomes a cutting base, and then you just store it like so. There you go. Cake is sealed up, and then when you want to take that off, the lid is a cutting tray. Tray. What's the word? Board. Cutting board. Anyway, so I need to make some lemon there. I'm getting all my words muddled. It's late. Look, it's 20 to 10. See, annoyingly, I've washed up the juicer. So this is why I don't normally wash as I go, because I'll need it again. This is why I find it better just to wash everything at the end. But I said some people won't be able to handle that, and obviously it's just better on camera. I don't need much juice. Just a little bit, literally just a few drops. Even that's probably enough. So I'm just improvising with this bit, really. There we go. I think we're quite a good consistency now. I'm going to pour that on. Next level. The problem is, as you can see, because that side's thinner, it's all running off. It's not being consistent. There you go. That will dry. It's orangey and very sweet. Marvellous. One cake. Now I'm not going to have this now because I actually want my friend to try it out. I don't know if she'll want to be on camera, but I will film that bit. What day is it now? It's currently Thursday, and I want her to try it out on Saturday because I won't see it, because I'll see her on Saturday. It is now 2 days later. I was hoping to my friend would be here to share this cake with me, but she's had to delay until Monday, and this cake isn't gonna still be as good on Monday. So I'm just gonna eat it myself. She sent me a message, said eat it yourself, so I will. Now, okay, so the icing is quite thin. It's more of a glaze. I said before it's like icing. It's more of a glaze than icing, but it's still good. It is on there. It doesn't really show well on the camera, does it? Anyway, it is on there, so I'm going to give this a taste. So this has been sitting in the tin since I made this on Thursday. It's now Saturday. And I'm going to give it a try. Get the lid back on. This tin's a bit warped. There we go. Alright, let's see what this is like. It's good. It tastes of lemon curd, but I didn't put quite a bit on there. It's also a bit orangey. It should be a bit orangey. There's enough zest in there and orange juice. It's actually quite a nice cake. She's missing out. She'll have some on Monday. Anyway, so yeah. The ending wasn't quite as exciting as I hoped it would be, but that's the way my videos are sometimes. Anyway, if you like this video, please subscribe, thumbs up, press the bell icon so you know when other videos come out. I've got loads of other stuff on here. I'm not just about making cakes, but unfortunately with the amount of flour I've got, I think there will be quite a bit of cakes coming up. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Bye!